The light was never supposed to go out. It had survived storms that shattered ships, waves that tore apart cliffs, and decades of isolation in one of the most dangerous stretches of ocean on Earth. But one night, without warning, it failed. And when help finally arrived, the men who were supposed to be inside were gone. This is Scary Stories Files. In December of 1900, sailors traveling through the North Atlantic noticed something deeply wrong. As their ships passed the Flannan Isles, the lighthouse ahead of them was dark. This wasn't a minor issue. The waters around those islands were a graveyard. Jagged rocks hid just beneath the surface, waiting to rip open hulls. That light was the only warning ships had. At first, captains assumed fog was blocking the beam. Equipment sometimes failed, but the light did not return. Night after night passed. Still nothing. The Flannan Isles were never meant for people. They rise sharply from the sea, stripped of trees, stripped of shelter. The wind never stops screaming there, and the sound of waves crashing against stone never fades. 3 men lived there. Thomas Marshall, the senior lighthouse keeper, James Duckett, the principal keeper, Donald MacArthur, the assistant. They were experienced, trained, disciplined, men who understood that the sea does not forgive mistakes, which is why what happened next made no sense. A relief ship was dispatched. As it approached the island, the crew felt uneasy. There was no movement, no smoke, no sound. The lighthouse stood tall and dead. When the relief keeper climbed the steep steps and knocked, no one answered. He unlocked the door and stepped inside. The interior felt wrong immediately. Not destroyed, not chaotic, just abandoned. In the kitchen, a meal sat untouched. Bread still fresh, cups upright. A chair slightly pushed back, as if someone had stood up suddenly and never returned. Time had stopped. Upstairs, the sleeping quarters told the same story. Beds neatly made, personal belongings untouched, but something critical was missing. All 3 heavy storm coats were gone. Any keeper knew one rule above all others: never step outside during violent weather without your coat. Yet all 3 were missing. That meant all 3 men went outside, together. As outside, the island showed signs of incredible force. Iron railings were bent outward, twisted, as if struck by something enormous. Massive stones had been ripped from the ground and dragged toward the cliff edge. It looked as though the sea itself had climbed the island, but the lighthouse remained intact. No shattered windows, no broken doors, and the door was found closed, not blown open, closed, which meant whoever left had shut it behind them. The logbook offered only fragments, notes about worsening weather, rising winds, Nothing, no warning, no final explanation, just silence. Investigators struggled to explain it. Why would three disciplined men abandon the safety of the lighthouse at once? One theory suggested a rogue wave, a towering wall of water powerful enough to sweep them away. But no bodies were ever found. No clothing, no trace. The sea kept everything. What makes the disappearance even more disturbing is what didn't happen. There was no sign of a struggle, no overturned furniture, no broken equipment. The storm, according to modern analysis, was dangerous, but survivable. So what made them go outside? Local sailors shared stories passed down for generations. Stories of voices carried on the wind, of shapes moving on the rocks during storms, of men feeling compelled to step into the night even when every instinct screamed not to. Some believed the island itself was alive, that it didn't kill quickly, it waited. Years later, after the lighthouse was automated, maintenance crews reported unsettling experiences. Tools went missing and reappeared. Doors were found unlocked. Radios picked up faint static that sounded uncomfortably close to whispered speech. No one wanted to stay longer than necessary. Eventually, a decision was made. No humans would return. Machines replaced men, because whatever happened there once was never fully understood. Some places do not want witnesses. Some lights were never meant to go out. If you ever pass those waters, sailors say there's one rule you should follow. Do not look too long at the island. Do not listen to the wind. And if the light ever goes dark again, pray you're already far away. This is Scary Stories Files. If stories like this keep you listening, make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Because the most terrifying stories are always real.